You're listening to One Sweet Wrestling Podcast.
One Sweet Wrestling Podcast.
With your host, Beto and
And we all know that when the good Lord created man, he meant for him to look just like me.
And Alex Lewicki.
The tower of power, too sweet to be sour. I'm funky like a monkey. Sky's the limit and space is the place.
The podcast made by fans for wrestling fans.
One sweet, one sweet, one sweet, one sweet.
You're listening to One Sweet Wrestling Podcast. Episode 21. In effect, we are now legal, everybody. So as you can see, or if you're on Instagram Live, you know we're on Instagram Live. Beto has a drink in his hand, and the Beto has a drink in his hand. You got to turn that microphone on, dude.
No, that's why.
There you go.
So for everybody who didn't just hear, he referred to himself in the third person.
That's right. Because the Beto has a drink in his hand, and it's a whiskey and Coke.
I've got lemonade.
And Alex has lemonade. He is a happy boy with his food right now. Thanks for having dinner with me, dude.
Healthy.
Healthy
big boy.
Healthy big boy. Thanks for having dinner with me.
Yeah, thank you.
That's awesome, man. So, we are here. It is I, Beto Barragan. And with me, as always, the Wrestling Wikipedia.
Alex Lewicki.
Yes, we are having dinner right now, chomping down on some burgers, some fries, chicken nuggets, all that good stuff. I got chicken nuggets.
That's a lie, dude. We totally have lobster and a steak right in front of us
That's
because we're
true.
rich.
That's
We're rich,
right.
ladies and gentlemen.
Rich, feeling it. No, we are very humble, and we appreciate everyone that's supported us. So, let's talk about the headlines, man. What's going on?
Yeah, so last night was the beginning of night one of the Superstar shakeup on Monday Night Raw. I'm going to go over the names, 19 in total. Some were done on air, some are coming, and some were done on WWE.com. First up was Jinder Mahal with Sunil Singh, introducing him after a segment with Kurt Angle. We're going to go over whether or not we care about this. The Riot Squad in its entirety came. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, recently fired from SmackDown, headed over to Raw. Breezango, Dolph Ziggler, Drew McIntyre, fresh from NXT in his arm surgery, Natalya, Baron Corbin, The Ascension, Mojo Rawley, Zack Ryder, which they seem they can't separate them from the hip, Chad Gable, Bobby Roode, and Mike Kanellis. Now, out of all this, with some exceptions, it really does look like they're giving the B Squad a run on Raw.
Yeah.
Now, there's some names that I'm excited for and some names I don't understand why they got crossed over.
So let me stop you right there. I'll let you finish your point. While you were running down that seems like a long list of people that switched over.
19 in total.
Okay, so 19 people switched over to Monday Night Raw. I wrote down maybe 5 names. So I want to hear
care about
that popped out to me. But I want to hear what your theory is, or where are they going with this?
Jinder Mahal, I think, is going to be perpetual mid-card with here's the funny thing. After all this happened, all of 3MB are on the same show.
Oh, yeah. You think they put them together for like a little segment?
No. Well, maybe as a joke segment. 6 months from now.
Right.
Jinder Mahal is going to be sitting in the IC title picture. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe tag team division. Put him in a tag team.
Did they ever do Brock versus Jinder Mahal? That never happened. It was AJ versus Brock.
I don't want to see that. It could, but it didn't happen.
But what I'm saying is right now at this moment, like you could have that.
Yeah.
Just the way everything's
if Brock
looking.
ever shows up.
Yeah. Right.
The Riot Squad, Ruby Riott, from what I understand. No, it was either Ruby Riott or Sarah Logan. had a confrontation with Ronda Rousey. So they're kind of right there with, okay, they're going to be interacting with her. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, they should be mid to upper card. Breezango, don't care. Ultimately, they're going to be the other joke, kind of what Gallows and Anderson are doing right now. They're supposed to be taken seriously, but they're just ultimately there to kind of yuck it up. Dolph Ziggler is going to be paired with Drew McIntyre. Now, I've seen a lot of comparisons with them and Two Cool Dudes, Shawn Michaels and Diesel.
Yeah.
If it works, great. Ultimately, I've kind of given up on Dolph Ziggler. His character, he's been tried to be rehashed so many times. It's kind of like, if it didn't work once, it's not going to work this time for me.
Right.
Natalya, I think, is there to be the next opponent for Ronda Rousey. There's pictures of them training. I think Rousey was trained by Natalya slightly. Baron Corbin, don't know. A lot of people are saying that he's going to get a big main event push, maybe against Reigns. Ultimately, if that happens, another guy kind of like Dolph Ziggler that I just don't rate him as far as entertaining me. He's kind of where Randy Orton is too. He's there. People want to like him. I have no opinion on him besides he's just kind of there. So the next couple of names, the Ascension, Mojo Rawley, Zack Ryder, and Chad Gable, it feels to me they're just kind of filling spaces here.
Okay.
Bobby Roode, I think they're going to be doing something a little bit more with him. Maybe the IC title picture. Him against Reigns, him against Elias could be something interesting. Mike Kanellis, again, I think he's just filling up some space here. But then again, he hasn't really been on SmackDown a whole lot either. So it's going to be really interesting to see what they can do with him and if Maria comes back, because then she'll be a focal point, I'm sure, as a valet or manager. So really, all those names, there's nothing that blew me away. There was no real main event stars, save for maybe Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, maybe Bobby Roode, depending on how they book him from now on. There's nothing that really got me out of my seat going like, oh, wow, this is going to make Monday Night Raw even more enjoyable to watch than it's been. If anything, it's starting to bring some people that I don't really not like, but I just don't have any interest in wrestling. So maybe this will be the time that they can sway me. This is after WrestleMania. They're starting with a clean slate. Prove to me that I need to watch this.
So how would you rate this change?
How are we scaling this?
Let's do A, B, C, D, F.
I'm going D.
You really?
Yeah. D only because they got some good names. They got Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Bobby Roode again. I'm interested to see what they'll do with Chad Gable. Mojo Rawley and Zack Ryder, I don't know. I mean.
So if you're watching on Instagram, answer this. How would you rate the changes of Monday Night Raw from the standpoint of, grade school grades, A, B, C, D, F? You can go plus or minus if you feel compelled to. I'll disagree with a D, and I'll tell you why.
Well, what do you give it?
I'm probably going to give it a C+. I want to give it a B. The problem is that you hit the nail on the head when it came to people that I want to see. Like, who do I really want to see? And to be honest with you, we're recording the podcast on a Tuesday night. Normally, for the sake of I don't have cable, would I watch SmackDown on a Tuesday? I don't know. If I had cable, I probably would, but
see, I do.
Creature of habit kind of thing.
The issue with me is
I just watch the highlights and I get the idea, but
you can do that. Like, I don't watch SmackDown.
Yeah, but you can get caught up. You can get caught up to a degree, but what's there to catch up on?
Exactly. That's the issue.
The thing when I look at SmackDown, you have Jinder, who they can bounce back and forth between the main title and the secondary title, which is good in a sense. However, what does that say about the character and you trying to push him? It makes it seem like he's disposable in my eyes. Now, he had a decent run with the belt. I wouldn't say it was up there as far as greatness, but I can definitely tell you, like, I want to see Rusev with the belt sometime soon, and that would be an enjoyment in itself. Sammy and Kevin Owens, I can see them going for the belt at some point.
Would you make them a tag team?
No,
because the tag division in Raw right now is, if what I think is going to happen is going to happen, the bar is going to head over to Raw, or I'm sorry, SmackDown. So it leaves kind of a void of.
Well, the Usos haven't moved over yet.
And I think last night would have been the perfect time to do it.
Yeah.
Especially with the Authors of Pain.
So do they do the shakeup, just whatever's on air, and do they do a draft afterwards like they did that the first time?
Well, here's the thing. They didn't even explain it.
Oh, so they're not doing the draft.
There was no rhyme or reason.
Yeah.
Jinder Mahal just came out, and there was like, you remember how in that one draft, maybe about 2 years ago, it would kind of do like a video game select, and then the name would pop up, like.
Yeah, like a.
Yes.
Okay.
Or at least
I did the sound effect for it. You can't even see it what I'm doing unless you're watching live.
Our next call up is boom.
Yeah, it's at random, right?
Nothing. There was none of that. It was no pomp and circumstance. It was like, hey, stick around if you want to see who's going to show up next. It's like
I see what you're doing.
I mean, it didn't.
There's no hype to it.
That's the issue.
There was no hype to it because I remember when they did it again, they built up this huge hype over it, like all this stuff, and it was just like it was just crazy, insane that like they were moving things around, and all that good stuff.
Yeah, but my issue with this is
yeah.
You're not doing anything to make me want to invest my time.
Right.
It's your product. It is up to you to sell it to me. And right now, the landscape of Raw is looking almost exactly the same as it did before WrestleMania. With the people you added, it's not really doing anything to make me want to watch. Hell, they didn't even bring over the New Day, and they are stale in SmackDown. So what they need to be doing is bringing over talent, especially if this is your A show. So if you want to end up bringing over the New Day, if you want to end up bringing over who I think they should have, because they made a huge, I think they dropped the ball with not bringing Rusev over. He's a big draw. Unless they do something tonight on SmackDown that kind of implements, indicates that Rusev or somebody else that is, I guess in our eyes, worth the A show moniker. Somebody else needs to be announced.
Well, here's what I'm seeing on this though. On this whole shakeup thing right now, from what this list that you gave me, you said there was 19. Now I probably wrote a few people down, and like Dolph is there, and Drew McIntyre. I'm okay with that. I don't know if I would put them together as a tag team. Now you mentioned two cool dudes, or was it two bad dudes? Shawn Michaels and Diesel.
Yeah.
So I like that observation, by the way. But I feel like these two are a lot more. They're a lot more physical, and they're a lot more, what do you call it, athletic.
Well, you also have to look, it's at a different time, too.
Well, yeah, no, but I mean, I'm saying, like, I could definitely see Drew McIntyre at some point going for the Universal title.
Yeah, for sure.
When Brock is gone.
Yeah, I see that.
Right now, like, what they're doing with Brock is he's just unstoppable. He's a beast. I mean, it almost makes me not care to watch for the title. I want to see something come out of this, and I think you could have like great storylines with Bobby Roode, Dolph and Drew McIntyre, Sammy, Kevin Owens, and Jinder Mahal. I think right now with that, and then okay, well, let's see. You even have Roman there. This is on Raw, right?
Yeah. So far, yeah.
You got Roman. You've got Rollins. Who else is at Raw? Samoa Joe.
You've got Elias.
Well,
would you put him in the main event card? Are we talking while?
I'm saying right now, this is what we have. Right at this moment, like so far until 10 minutes from now, when SmackDown goes on the air, we don't know who's gonna who's going to go on until after this is recorded. But we'll try to keep up with the updates as the show goes on. But I'm saying you have Jinder, Sammy, KO, Dolph, Drew, Bobby Roode. I think right there, and if Roman stays, I'm sure Roman's going to be there. That's 6 people for Roman to either. Well, it's just 6 people for them to feed Roman. But if they decide, or 5 people, I'm sorry, 5 people to feed Roman, that right there, including Roman, that's your new elimination chamber. But who's to say that Roman doesn't go over to SmackDown?
No, they're not going to get rid of that.
You don't think they'll get rid of Roman?
I think they would get rid of Braun faster than they would get rid of Roman.
Okay.
I think they're more. The only reason I think Braun could go over to SmackDown is because this is going to sound very smart markish of me, but it's easier for them to get rid of Roman Reigns. No, I'm sorry. It's easier for them to get rid of Braun Strowman and take the heat off of being the golden boy. Like, oh, everybody wants Braun to take the championship. I don't think there's any other way you can look at it. And the easiest way for them to say, no, Reigns is officially our guy, is Braun's got to go.
Okay.
So
I could see that.
That's ultimately what I think is going to happen.
Yeah. How did you guys rate Raw?
Here's the thing that
A, B, C, D, or F? Sorry, go ahead.
Here's what I forgot to mention.
Yeah.
The Miz has already been slated to move to SmackDown.
Oh, yeah.
From last night. I forgot to mention that during the rundown. So, what that means...
That builds another program with Daniel Bryan soon.
Yeah, I think it's going to be sooner rather than later.
You think they do it at Backlash?
No. I think what's going to happen is it's going to be that 3-way between Daniel Bryan, Nakamura, and AJ for the title. From there, AJ and Nak have another fight or whatever, and I think from there it goes over to... It's going to headline. I don't think it's going to headline a major pay-per-view.
SummerSlam. It's got to be SummerSlam.
Can they wait 4 months, though?
Fastlane? I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. They're going to headline something, but it's not going to be a big
It'll be
thing.
an off pay-per-view, like an offshoot pay-per-view, but I think that it would be...
Yeah, Wrestling Comedy. If you can update us with any results as far as people who are moving over, please do. It'd be greatly appreciated.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks, Wrestle Comedy, for that.
He also gave Raw a B from last night.
A B?
Yes, a B. Now, Ronda Rousey was there, so that may have added to some star power.
I think that could have added to... You know what, dude? I'll be honest. Like, I was the first one to be like, I don't think WWE needs Ronda Rousey, but it's nice to have her. But after her showing at WrestleMania, she is...
I think she got a lot of people's respect.
She is, yes. She is very well respected by the wrestling community. I would think so. That's my opinion. At least I respect her a lot more. Yeah, for sure, man. So I'm gonna go with a C+ on Monday Night Raw. Alex is going with a D, and Wrestling Comedy graded this a B. So, let us know what you guys think. It's an A, B, C, D, or an F show. What kind of show was it this past Monday when they did the Superstar shakeup on Monday Night Raw? Another thing that we want to talk about is actually the Greatest Royal Rumble.
Yes, it's going to be taking place in 2 weeks, Friday, April 27th in Saudi Arabia.
Okay.
Now, due to, I want to say Sharia law, I might be wrong, but no women will be allowed to wrestle on this card.
Really?
Yes. I don't know the full... legal, not legal. I don't think this is legal. I think this is just something very cultural. They don't allow women to, I guess, participate in. I'm not going to speak out of turn here, so I'm just going to say.
What is it called? I want to look this up.
Sharia law. I think it's SHARIA. But from what I understand, they won't allow the women to participate as far as competitors. So what we have right now, as it stands. The Bar versus Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt for the Raw Tag Team Championships. John Cena versus Triple H. The Bludgeon Brothers versus the Usos for the SmackDown Tag Team Championship. The Miz versus Seth Rollins versus Finn Balor versus Samoa Joe. It's a ladder match for the Intercontinental Championship.
Oh, nice.
That could actually be a really good match.
That sounds awesome.
Jeff Hardy versus Jinder Mahal for the United States Championship. The Undertaker versus Rusev, not Chris Jericho.
Yeah, there was a lot of controversy. Well, I don't want to say
Mm-hmm.
controversy, but
Yeah, it was just very confusing.
it was very random.
Like there was no real, oh, hey, this is why this is happening. It's just,
There was no explanation to it.
But it's going to be a casket match. Okay, so here we go. Saudi Arabia's constitution is the Islamic book, the Quran, and is strict on women. There's some background. Okay, there we go.
Who said that?
Wrestling comedy. Wrestling comedy.
Oh,
kinda,
wrestling comedy is joining in.
Yeah, he's
Awesome,
giving
dude.
us a little bit of an
Yeah,
answer.
it's a Islamic. I mean, I'm reading off of the dictionary definition here. So, let's see, Islamic colloquial law based on the teachings of the Quran tradition. Yeah, same thing. Dependent on the adapted conditions of the day. That's interesting. That's interesting, man.
So let me.
I
let
mean,
me
that's a
finish the rest of this
respect
part.
issue, though. That's a good respect issue that they're not going to put women on the card, but at the same time, we are living in like a women's revolution for wrestling.
Yeah, I think it's
You
smart
know?
as far as the WWE going, well, this is a new frontier we're trying to go for, and we don't want to offend anybody as soon as we walk in there.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
Brock Lesnar going in as champion versus Roman Reigns at a steel cage match for the Universal Championship. Here's where I have an issue.
Okay.
I think everybody under the sun understands that Roman Reigns will be winning the championship here.
Is he?
Yes. And here is the major reason, in my eyes, why this will happen. You're going to be putting him in a stadium filled with people who have never seen him wrestle.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to get a massive pop from the people in that stadium. There's no way they're going to let they're not going to let an opportunity of a whole crowd who loves him
Right.
slip away from their fingers. I would wager to guess it's going to be at least a 90% pro Roman Reigns crowd here. Whereas for Brock, it's just going to be he's this big guy who is obviously the bad guy.
It's the attraction.
Yeah,
He's
exactly.
the attraction.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Roman Reigns is going to win, and he's going to get the pop that the WWE wants him to get. He's going to get the hero's congratulations, while Brock is just going to unceremoniously just be, hey, you lost the title. And from what I understand from the stories I read, Brock Lesnar, I guess, doesn't really care too much about dropping the title. He's a businessman first and foremost.
Oh, yeah.
So with that being,
There's no, I don't want to say, he just knows how business works. There's no honor in that championship in his sense. I don't know if he looks at it that way. Maybe he looks at it like a, like you said, like a businessman. Hey, I'll drop it if you need me to do what I got to do.
And look, if that's the case, he understands this isn't a real title. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
I mean,
it's not a UFC title.
right.
He didn't
right.
actually have to go train and kick someone's ass for 3 rounds.
Did you see him at Mania? He looked bad, dude. He looked gassed.
Just wait until he actually has to go back to the UFC. He's
Oh
going
my
to be
gosh.
ripped.
Yeah.
And then the 50-man battle royal. I don't know all the competitors, but I think they're going to have to be pulling some people from NXT here.
What I see here, check this out. They've already announced Daniel Bryan, Chris Jericho,
What's going on, Sons of Titan?
Sons of Titan, Kurt Angle. Sons of Titan aren't in the Greatest Royal Rumble, but Kurt Angle, Braun Strowman are. And wow, look at that! Listen to this: Bray Wyatt, Big Show, Kane, The New Day, Baron Corbin, Apollo Crews. I'm assuming. Okay.
I'm thinking it's probably going to end up being Titus Worldwide.
Yeah. Shelton Benjamin's going to be in it. Sin Cara, Elias.
Which now makes him a singles wrestler again.
Yeah.
Unless he goes with Jason Jordan if he gets chopped over.
I remember reading somewhere that Shelton Benjamin wanted the belt, wanted to run at the title, which is one of the things why he came back or something like that.
That's interesting.
So I don't know how they're going to pull that, but I mean, it looks like, yeah, some NXT people are going to be in there. So
I would imagine so. You
there's
have to
no
fill the numbers somewhere.
but there's no announcement if it means anything, which is my gripe on this Greatest Royal Rumble. What is it going to mean anything? Does somebody get something?
They
out
get a trophy. That's it. It's just like the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. I
It's
don't
just a
think
big
it's
one.
ever supposed to mean anything as far as
That would have been cool.
it
Something.
would have. But the thing is, if you do that, then it feels like you have to make this an annual thing for it to mean something, like the King of the Ring, like the Money in the Bank match. There has to be something behind it, not just, hey, this is a one-off house show, and whoever wins the match at the house show gets, a shot at the WWE
But what if
championship.
you have and this is just an idea. Check this out. What if you have this event, the Greatest Royal Rumble, happens in different parts of the country because WWE is trying to make partnerships with China. They have one with the UK, with the UK Championship. You know what I'm saying?
Well, like a Wrestling World Cup?
Yeah. Like you do something where, okay, we're in UK and like, let's just say the winner is from the UK or something, and he's one of the guys that they signed to the UK Championship tournament and all that. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You see what I'm getting at? Like they can, if they win, they can go for their respective title.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Or they go for the NXT title.
Oh, I see.
Because
So
what if they pull from all across the world and they give the guy an opportunity to get a contract?
That's interesting.
You know, and if it's a guy from the main roster, then they're able to go over
Well, then
a
why don't you?
championship.
I think I would go one further and just let him go after whatever title he wanted.
The guy that's already signed?
No, what I'm saying, like, let's say Pete Dunne. He goes in. He's already the
There you go. Yeah, perfect
you know what I'm saying?
example.
So let's say Pete Dunne wins. I want a shot at the Intercontinental Championship. I want a shot at the U.S. Championship. Whatever he wants, he gets a shot at. Minus the U.S. Or I'm sorry, minus the world.
Doesn't
title.
necessarily mean that he has to win, but it's a nice tryout to get there. And I like the idea of the secondary title because it means something again.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes. See, that's
I
the
like
thing.
that. That's a good idea.
I don't like the whole as it is. The Intercontinental Championship used to be it was like you're basically SmackDown started. I'll keep you up to. Thank you, Wrestling Comedy. So it feels like the Intercontinental Championship used to be the springboard. It was like, okay, you're here. You are next in line.
You're next in line.
This is kind of like, it felt like it was the proving grounds. It's like you have the
You're
belt.
next in line until Hulk Hogan says so. I'm kidding.
Well, it felt like you
Yeah.
have it. Prove to us you deserve to have
Right.
the other title.
Right.
Now it's just kind of like, oh, you're popular here. Here's the belt.
Mm.
You know, it doesn't
got
mean
you.
we're gonna bump you up to the Styles kicks off SmackDown.
So let's say this. Who kicked off SmackDown?
AJ Styles is evidently still on SmackDown as
Awesome.
of now.
So let's say this. Intercontinental Championship ladder match. Seth Rollins against The Miz, Finn, and Samoa Joe. Who wins? Who
I
do you think?
want Samoa Joe to win. I don't think Rollins needs that belt.
Nah, he doesn't.
Yeah, at this point, it's almost. I feel like whatever belt he gets isn't going to really mean much to me.
The cool thing about these matches that I like about four-way matches and three-way dances and ladder matches is if the champion loses, like this Intercontinental Championship, let's say Seth loses and he goes on to, you know what, he can just go on for the title.
If he
And
wanted
this-
to, yeah.
but this would leave like, okay, so Intercontinental Championship is on Raw, right?
As of right now, it is.
And The Miz is now going to SmackDown.
The Miz is going to SmackDown without the title.
Okay, so let's say Finn or Samoa Joe win. You have a program with Finn, Balor, and Samoa Joe.
That's money again.
You know what I'm saying? Like that. What it does, what I like about these matches is that you can see
Oh,
what
okay.
the next show's gonna, what the next program's gonna be.
So a shot of wrestling says you would love to see a Joe versus Kevin Owens match. I agree. I think those guys
that would be awesome.
would be fantastic.
They did some stuff in Ring of Honor. They always did great, but on the
Yeah.
on a bigger scale in WWE,
Yeah.
it's a different animal. But you would love to see them show the WWE universe what it's all about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I would love to see that match. I think both of them are great competitors right now. And you know what? That sounds if Samoa Joe takes the Intercontinental Championship and goes against KO for that run for a title run, I think that's a fantastic
That's a great
match.
program, and then you can move from KO to KO and Sammy. You can go KO and Balor. You can go if Samoa Joe wins, then you can go Samoa Joe versus Balor at SummerSlam
See, the
or
thing
whatever.
with Samoa Joe is,
I
like the fact that he makes everybody he wrestles look good.
He is like him and AJ Styles are like those types of wrestlers that can adapt to any situation, and they make it look great. They make everybody look money. It seems like there's obvious that these two guys were the top two wrestlers in that previous company before, which was mentioned on Raw last week.
Was interesting.
That was really weird. And let's just go ahead and just address it. Corey Graves calling
Bullet Club.
the Bullet Club.
Yeah.
He's been doing that quite a bit lately. They have been kind of like taking little.
I wouldn't
jabs.
take anything. I wouldn't take anything from it. I think it's just a slip of the tongue.
Oh, I know.
I don't
but
think they
it's-
can afford to say it anymore.
No,
but
I know. That's what I'm saying.
I tell you what I'd like to see, and
Sure.
if it happens, for Samoa Joe to get moved over to SmackDown. Samoa Joe wrestles Daniel Bryan.
Oh,
Money.
they're waiting for it.
That is a
Who knows? Maybe he shows up to.
I hope so. I hope he does get a move.
Because aren't they going to start doing pay-per-views together? They're not going to mix pay-per-views. They're not going to split.
They're cutting
pay-per-views
them down,
anymore.
definitely.
So
there's going to be a
maybe-
lot more.
Maybe
dual.
Backlash is going to be a dual pay-per-view, and then that's Samoa Joe's still going to. Because didn't he lay down a challenge to Roman?
He did, which I was confused. I was like, I don't really see how this is going to benefit Samoa Joe, because ultimately, whatever happens, Samoa Joe is going to always be like in Vince's and supposed eyes. But the hell with it. I want to see Joe against Cesaro. I want to see Joe against everybody he faces.
Joe
again.
should just kill everyone. They should just put a rocket ship on Joe's back, and just put him up there.
Did they ever do Joe versus Braun?
Thought they did.
I want to see that if they haven't.
I thought they did, but I could be wrong. If anybody knows about that, Joe versus Braun, if that has happened, let us know. So what else is on this card? John Cena versus Triple H.
Yeah, it's going to be a good, solid match. I mean, that's a safe match.
They're seasoned. They know what they're doing.
Yeah, they're two veterans knowing what they're doing. The Jeff Hardy versus Jinder Mahal for the United States Championship. Jeff Hardy's probably going to keep it if he goes to SmackDown. If not, then yeah, I could see something happening with that.
I feel like he has to.
Yeah. The Undertaker versus Rusev, I don't understand why. I get it. It's a cool casket match, but the Undertaker doesn't lose casket matches except against, who was it, Yokozuna? In Survivor Series 94?
With Chuck Norris came out and super kick.
No.
Yes.
No, dude, Chuck Norris was never at Survivor Series 94.
I'm going to look this up.
I will too.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know what it was. It was Survivor Series.
Chuck Norris was at Survivor Series.
I'm
when-
talking the casket match.
Yeah, it was a casket match because Double J went after Chuck Norris, and Chuck Norris super kicked him in the face. It was awesome. It's kind of counter redundant what I just said. Super kicked him in the face, but it was there.
Oh, well, he was there.
He was there.
He was there, but I don't remember.
He was
him
the
being
special
the main-
enforcer on the Undertaker's side.
Huh. Damn, dude. I stand
Texas,
corrected.
bro.
Shit, I thought I was.
I'll
the
tell you why I
Wikipedia.
know this fact. Because back in the day, I had a VHS of all the Survivor Series, and it came with a Shawn Michaels tattoo.
Wow.
Yes, dude. Yes.
Wow.
Just digging, rubbing it in the face of Brett.
So-
Terrible. Terrible.
I think that's how this match is going to be. Rusev is going to do what he does. He's going to play the heel role, blah, blah, blah. It's not going to... Honestly, here's the issue what I have with this.
You think it's a squash match?
Yeah, probably. I think it's not as... It's probably going to go as long as the Cena match.
I don't think it would have been a squash. You know what? Maybe. I don't think it would have been a squash match had Jericho taken up. Had this been Jericho versus Taker. Still, I don't think it would have been a squash match. I don't think Chris Jericho has that big of an ego to be like, I'm out if I'm not going over, or I'm out if it's a squash match like Cena. Like I'm not gonna go down like that. Come on,
What's up, Taco Underground?
that could have happened. What's up, Taco?
Oh,
Underground?
hey, Rusev versus Styles on SmackDown. Awesome.
Oh, nice.
I'll go
nice.
watch that later. Yeah, so...
Who do you
Brock
got on
Lesnar-
that? Who do you got on that? John Cena versus Triple H. Doesn't matter.
Doesn't really matter.
Undertaker versus Rusev. Who would you would like to see Rusev win?
I would, but I think Undertaker's just going to... This is how I see the card going down.
Yeah.
Undertaker wins. Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt probably win the Raw Tag Team Championships. John Cena against Triple H. Triple H, and then they shake hands, whatever. The Bludgeon Brothers versus the Usos for the SmackDown Tag Team titles. I think the Usos should still keep it because they didn't get moved over to Raw last night. The Miz versus Seth Rollins versus Finn Balor versus Samoa Joe. My heart is saying Samoa Joe, but my brain is saying they're going to keep it on Rollins.
Okay.
Jeff Hardy versus Jinder Mahal. Jeff Hardy should keep it. Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns. We already went over this. Roman Reigns takes it in the 50-man battle royal. The gobbledygooker. Mark it.
Nice. I don't know who's going to win the Greatest Royal Rumble, but I have a feeling that it's going to be like Daniel Bryan, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, sure. If they just
Why
want
not?
to give him a photo op with a giant statue.
Something. Let me go ahead and do some shout-outs here right now. If you're looking for a unique, clean, and comfortable shop to get your next tattoo, check out the artists at Galaveras Tattoos. They're located downtown San Antonio at 628 South St. Mary's, just north of Cesar Chavez. Galaveras is home to some of the best, most experienced tattoo artists in San Antonio, and the only shop in town with 4 female artists on staff. Established in 2005, Galaveras Tattoos offers a variety of styles and the highest quality tattoos with a price that won't hurt your budget. So stop by for a consultation or give them a call to schedule one. It's easy. 210-227-7673. That's 210-227-7673. Calaveras Tattoos, San Antonio's favorite tattoo shop.
Legend says there is a place in San Antonio where there are battles of the mind and trivia, loteria, and celebrations where we drink and dance to live music. El Luchador, located at 622 Roosevelt in Southtown San Antonio.
This is Jared Davis, author of To Be the Man comic, and you're listening to One Sweet Wrestling Podcast.
Booked Rusev Day versus Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles.
Wait. Paige booked it?
Yeah, she's the new GM.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's going to be a good match. So
is that for the next pay-per-view? Or
no, I think that's tonight on SmackDown.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's cool.
I liked that. I used to like when like WCW would do that. Like they'd have a match and an interference and then, or even WWE used to do that a lot. Used to go, hold on, we're going to do this all over again later tonight in that very ring. I loved it. Pageantry. Pageantry, dog. That's what I'm about.
So, last Friday the 13th, it was raining like cats and dogs here in San Antonio.
Yeah.
But damn it, we still made it out to Heavy Metal Wrestling at the Guillotine Bar. This place was awesome, man. I mean, I love metal music. I know you do too.
Oh, yeah.
It
for
had
sure.
everything I ever wanted. It honestly felt like the coolest wrestling event I've been to, like an independent wrestling event. It felt so cool.
Very underground, right?
Yeah.
Very like organic, like underground wrestling fight club type
absolutely.
thing.
And the funny thing is, it looked like it, but the wrestling was so good.
Oh, yeah. It was awesome.
Dude,
was
the
like,
wrestling, I have not been able to stop, like, putting it over. Everybody that was on that card was so good. It was entertaining. It was fast-paced. It was super physical, too. I don't want to make a lot of comparisons because I feel it wouldn't do heavy metal wrestling justice.
Okay.
But I will say it gave me the vibe of early ECW where it was very fan-oriented. Hell, if anybody is familiar with bar wrestling out in California, they allow the fans to basically be right up on the canvas.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I dug that.
This was no different. Heavy Metal Wrestling, Dylan Dunbar made the announcement, hey, guys, we want you to come as close to the ring as safe as possible, make some noise, really get into it. And damn it, if people didn't. I saw some dude throw beer at a wrestler.
Oh, really?
For sure.
I didn't catch that.
Oh, dude, I was like, this guy could legit get punched.
Oh, wow. So check this out, dude. That's wild, man. So, like, that place for me, like, I used to play there when I was like playing music in a band and everything like that. We used to jam out there. That was our oddly enough, the place was called originally the Sanctuary. That was our sanctuary where we would play music. It's become the Guillotine since. It recently opened up. Great venue. I liked it. I mean, it my only critique of this entire evening, and I'm not even going to put down the wrestling because we're going to talk about some of that right now. If you have local wrestling in your town or you live in San Antonio, dude, check out local wrestling and just support it because these are the guys that could be up in the WWE someday. You know what I mean? You never know. You never know who you're gonna meet and who you're gonna know in this business.
Yeah,
it's awesome. Shout out to, and I know he probably doesn't even like know that we exist, but shout out to Rudy Boy Gonzalez. He was there in attendance, and if you don't know the name Rudy Boy Gonzalez, South Texas, big name in wrestling. He was one of the coaches at Shawn Michaels Wrestling Academy. And he actually trained, I believe, I want to say he helped train or probably did train one of the women who wrestled on Friday the 13th at Heavy Metal Wrestling this past Friday. But yeah, like for sure, like support local wrestling. Be sure to check it out. It was a blast, and what a great way to kick off my birthday weekend. So that was fun, and I'm gonna give them the card. All right,
Go for it.
Go ahead and do a rundown. Great Scott defeated Mikey McFinnigan. Alex defeated Alexa. Ruben Steele defeated Alex Herzog. Dylan Dunbar defeated Tony Tejano. Terrell Tempo Time, baby, defeated Kiefer Startek. Jay Sirius defeated El Fantastico, Zach Taylor, and Jake Parnell in a fatal four-way match. That was
match of the night for me.
I'm going to agree with you there. Great match, but Cody Lane and Ethan Price defeated the Hooligans, who were...
Dude, that match, I have never seen somebody take a headshot with a steel chair that close. I now understand. Dude, now I understand why they've... it sounded so crazy.
Yeah, the Hooligans are billed as one of the most brutal tag teams in wrestling.
What up, Rawzilla?
What's up, Rawzilla? Brutal tag teams in professional wrestling, and they lived up to it that night.
Yeah, it was cool.
And Dylan Devine defeated Japanese comedy legend Kiku Taro. Look up Kiku Taro. His wrestling is very unorthodox, but it was very like comedic spots and here and this and that.
Yeah, it was good.
It was a great match. It was fun. Definitely look up Kiku Taro. You might see some pictures of people that he took pictures with that you may know. Actually, Stephanie McMahon, he took a picture with her not too long ago.
Yeah, I saw that.
It was kind of
on
cool.
his Instagram.
Yeah, and they look like they've probably known each other for many years, I'm sure, since
that's interesting.
Her dad's been in the business. But let's do a quick rundown of this card and just kind of give our reviews, our thoughts of heavy metal wrestling at the Guillotine with their event Psycho Holiday.
So, if we're doing ratings from A to F, this gets an A for me. An A+, damn it.
Overall, the show?
Yeah, man.
Oh, yeah.
From start to finish, there's no way for $10 do you get this high flying action without subscribing to the WWE Network.
Wow.
Dude, it was awesome. And I'm not even saying this because we know Dylan Dunbar.
Yeah, for sure.
I would say this regardless.
Oh, Dylan knows we'd tell him he'd suck to his face.
Dude, this was awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm just gonna go over not in order.
Yeah.
The Kikutaro Dylan Devine match was fun. It reminded me of kind of like a Colt Cabana style match where there's elements of it that are serious, but you still get the overall feel of this is just supposed to make you laugh, but it's still it's a good match.
Yeah.
Awesome job. Alexa versus Alex, is it Gracia?
Yeah, Alex Gracia.
Gracia?
Yeah.
Dude, awesome. These women put on a great match. I mean, to the caliber of, you look like at the Women of Honor wrestling. I would say at some point I could see them doing like a Mae Young Classic type event with nothing but women,
like a women's tournament.
Dude, it was so good.
Dude, I could not put over these two ladies more than anything. Like they really like their chain wrestling was awesome. Their submissive styles were awesome. The submission moves and everything that they pulled.
Yeah.
They really hit the nail on the head for me.
It wasn't divas wrestling.
It wasn't, and that's the thing, man. Like I've seen like local shows or like just independent shows where that has happened. And I don't want to dog on anybody, anybody's style. They're in that ring and doing what I can.
Sure,
you know what I'm saying. But when I saw these two women, this is what I felt. I felt like when they came to the ring, I felt like they've invested the time to go to the gym, the gear. They were trained properly, in my opinion. Like, it's kind of like an old school thing. Like whenever I watch a shoot commentary or a shoot interview with somebody, they always mention this. Look, guys, get gear. Don't go to Hot Topic and go buy Jeff Hardy pants and think you can wrestle. Invest in some gear. These ladies did that, and it wasn't just all flash and pizzazz with just that gear. They could wrestle. They could go.
No, there we go. There's our first joining.
Yeah.
Jeff Hardy is now on SmackDown.
Okay.
I'm sorry to interrupt
No,
you,
it's fine.
This is breaking news, ladies and gentlemen.
Breaking news.
So, yes, the ladies, fantastic job.
Yeah.
The match that I forget the headshot from the chair. The match that I legit got scared for, Mikey McFinnigan against the Great Scott.
Mikey McFinnigan and Great Scott. Yeah.
Maybe I wrote it down incorrectly. I'm sorry. Mikey
That's okay.
McFinnigan. I legit thought this guy got a concussion.
Dude.
It was so words cannot explain what happened. This gentleman was thrown headfirst into a ceiling.
Yeah.
Kind of like a lawn dart.
Oh, yeah. And you heard a crack.
Yeah.
It wasn't like...
It wasn't the ceiling that cracked.
Yeah. It wasn't the ceiling that cracked. Like, you heard something, like, go off and everything.
And Great Scott, a really good wrestler. Really good chain wrestler.
I think the guy's got a future, dude.
Yeah.
I honestly do believe that. I've seen him wrestle before, and he plays this heel persona to the T. Like, you believe this dude hates you. You know what I'm saying? Like, he is a heel, like, for sure. But man, like, really put on a great show between these two. I love the comedy spots between Mikey McFinnigan, and he kind of reminded me of like a Colt Cabana style as well.
Yeah, I can see that.
A lot more athletic, though, in my opinion. I mean, Colt Cabana's a bigger guy, but Mikey was throwing some
haymakers
out there. Yeah, he was doing some haymakers, man. He was doing very well. A match that I enjoyed was actually Ruben Steele defeating Alex Herzog. So what did we say? We said this guy is like he was like a 7 foot. I don't know. He's a monster.
Alex Herzog?
Yeah,
the guy from the Ozark that came out with a chainsaw?
Yes.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I mean, I enjoy whenever anybody brings over a prop and doesn't really do too much to make it hokey. Like it's not like he came out looking like what's his name? It's not Cactus Jack. Chainsaw Charlie.
Yeah.
It wasn't anything like that. You're like, oh, this is dumb. It's like, no, it fit his character. It looked kind of cool. But yeah, dude, that match.
I love the big man versus the small man story. That was awesome. I enjoyed it. I think that Ruben Steele coming from San Antonio, Texas, dude, wearing that heavy metal like patched like denim vest. Gangsta.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. Tempo against
Terrell Tempo. Terrell Tempo can throw down, dude.
Yeah, this is really good.
I loved his in-ring work. That was awesome. That was so much fun. I think the guy, like, here's the thing. If you were there at that show at Heavy Metal Wrestling, since the ceiling was low, they were so restricted as to what they could do, with high-flying moves and things like that. However, like,
speaking of, Mikey McFinnigan did a shooting star press from just standing.
Yeah.
I
that was
forgot
awesome.
completely about that, but damn it, that looked cool.
Yeah, that was rad, dude. He really made that work. I love seeing the adjustments.
Yes.
And I love seeing that.
Of adjustments, that 4-way between those high flyers. This was essentially, for lack of a better term, it was like a cruiserweight match.
Yeah. And
it was so good. I think it was the match of the night.
It reminded you of Lucha Libre, WCW cruiserweight match.
Yes.
Like
yes.
Hard old school style. Who were the like, if you could pick two that you could take away and you think they would throw on a good match, who do you think that would be? I mean, I think all of them
out of the whole card?
Yeah.
I would say Great Scott and Jay Serious.
Jay Serious won that match. So
I'm just saying.
That's a good.
Wait, are we talking about the 4-way or out of the whole entire card?
Well, I was talking about the 4-way.
Okay.
But you went there. Oh, man, that was awesome.
Honestly, you could pick any two of them and it would look good.
You could really pick anybody from this roster.
And see, this is what I'm talking about.
That.
It's investing me because if I see any one of these people on the card against somebody else, I'd be like, wow, I actually want to see how this is going to turn out.
They're hungry, dude.
Like, it looks...
They're hungry.
Everybody that was
good.
Wrestling made me invested in their character. It made me invest in what they are going to do from now on because I do want to see a lot of these guys progress.
I want to see Jay Serious. I want to see Jake Parnell wrestle soon. Yeah. I mean, the Stan Hansen lariat.
Yep.
The big boots, the drop kicks he was throwing down. He was like a big guy, but he could do some aerial maneuvers, which is what I always appreciate that. I always do.
And shout out to Dylan Dunbar for getting in the ring and
Yeah.
allowing your boy to live out childhood fantasy.
Yeah, you got to chop somebody.
Get a Big Show hand slap,
Dude.
Sass.
Alex came down with it, bro.
Came down with the thunder.
Came down hard on the mother.
But look, that was the whole event. If you are in the San Antonio area, hell, if you're in the Austin area, if you're in Texas in general, make your way down on June 8th. Heavy Metal Wrestling is going to be putting on another show, the exact same location, 1618 North Main Street, The Guillotine at San Antonio, Texas. Some of the names that have been announced as of today, and listen carefully, some big ones.
Ultraviolent Beast. Masada,
y'all.
ACH.
Dude, ACH. San Antonio.
We saw him at Ring of Honor.
We did, and he was wearing his Spurs jersey. Shout out to him.
Shout out to ACH. Always ready. Cody Lane, who also was was putting on that show with the Hooligans and his tag team partner Ethan Price.
With the book?
Yes.
He had a little notebook?
That's right. Terrell Tempo's going to be there. Great Scott's going to be there. Alexa is going to be there. The heavy metal berserker Ruben Steele is going to be there. You're going to have women's action featuring some of the best female talent in Texas. You're going to have all of this, of course, full bar.
And us. We'll be there.
We're going to be there. You know we're going to be there,
You won't miss
dog.
us there.
So come on out June 8th to the Guillotine for Heavy Metal Wrestling's 2 minutes to midnight. It's going to be fun. Alex, I don't think there's anything left to say.
Oh, there's something else to say.
Oh, is there?
There's a question.
Alex has brought the question. Bring the thunder, baby. Let's do
Are
this.
you excited for the future of the WWE after the Superstar shakeup? As it stands right now, Jeff Hardy just jumped over to SmackDown.
Okay.
Are you excited for this next, season, as it's called? The season between now and next WrestleMania?
Yes. I think that we're going to see some guys and gals jumping up from NXT. Hopefully later tonight we get a lot more.
I want Cien Almas to pop up tonight.
I hope he does too. I really do. I hope Johnny Gargano shows up.
I think he has to finish another program with Ciampa. And I think after that, he was probably. I want to see he's going to jump up maybe after SummerSlam.
That
but
could come
I'd like
through,
it earlier.
That could come through a little later and build something with him and Cien Almas. You could always go there. But honestly, I am excited for the future of the WWE. As much as, we kind of, not us, but I think in general, the internet wrestling community is more like anti-WWE or critical of it. I'm sorry. Tongue-tied over here. It's that Jack and Coke over there. But anyway, the landscape is going to change. I'm excited for this. I think that we're going to have a lot more athleticism in the WWE. I don't think we're going to see that many big guys coming out of the woodwork. Maybe just attractions that you need. Like, you got to have guys like Braun involved, but maybe one or two guys like that.
Yeah.
But I do think that you're going to have – I think this is like their opportunity to shake it up and give you a tag team division, give you a women's – revolution, or even just not even a women's revolution. I think women's wrestling is now a part of the show and not an attraction or a sideshow.
Yeah, absolutely.
It really is.
It's not a bathroom break anymore.
It's not a bathroom break anymore. I would rather see Asuka and Charlotte over Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns.
That's a strong claim. Yeah, for sure.
I was more invested in that match than the other. So, I'm excited about it. I think it's gonna be great once we get to SummerSlam. If it's not great by SummerSlam, I will get a tattoo of the Spurs logo on me. How about that?
What are we basing this greatness off of?
The greatness has to be that SummerSlam has to go off without a hitch. If it sucks, then I don't know how much of a future we can look at being excited for.
I got you.
WWE.
So you okay? I think I see what you're going with.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
Yeah. What about you?
Yeah, I'm optimistic. If anything.
Yeah.
It's a little too early to see the landscape of what they want to do.
Yeah.
As of last night, I think Raw. I don't know if they're going to try to blur the lines between it being the A show and it just being another show. and maybe making SmackDown a little bit more strong, depending on who they bring over. Because as of right now, they have the person I want to see the most is Daniel Bryan.
Right.
He's the guy that I will tune into to see, is he going to wrestle? Brock, not really. I don't really. It used to be cool to want to watch him for me, but now it's kind of just almost become the stale, like
much like watching Goldberg back then.
Yes.
Compared to now.
Yeah. Exactly. But no, I'm interested. I hope Balor jumps over with Gallows and Anderson to SmackDown and turns into maybe a Balor Club reunion.
They got to do something with that.
Yeah, but optimistic. Yes, I think SummerSlam is going to be a good test to see where they're at with what they want to do and where they're thinking about, the next couple months, because after that there's nothing really going on until Survivor Series, and that always seems to kind of be a one-off, like, big match. It was the Rock and Cena, it was Sting coming out against Triple H. There's always something big that kind of overshadows the entire card. So SummerSlam needs to be that one thing that, especially because I think it's going to be in Los Angeles this year.
Oh, yeah.
So I think that they're going to have to put on a good show, especially to sell that Staples Center out. So I would say that's probably going to be your first Ronda Rousey pay-per-view. Besides, besides
Mania?
Mania, yeah. They have to sell it, and she might even main event it.
It's an attraction. You have to really hold on to your attraction and not let it leak out, or you know what I mean. You don't want it to.
You don't can't get it spoiled.
Right, exactly. Yeah, man. I think it was good observations here. We look forward to what's going to happen later on SmackDown. Hopefully, we get more.
We'll cover who moved over next week in total, because there's going to be people from the NXT that are going to jump up.
We have a week. Yeah, we have a week ahead of us, my friend. It's going to be good. But look, I had a great time. Hope you did. You full? You got your stomach full with some good food?
Yeah, I'm real full right now.
Awesome. Well, you know what? Thanks to everybody that checked us out on Instagram Live. And, thank you to everybody who listens to the show. We really appreciate all the vote of confidence that we've been receiving, all the love. Everybody's been really, into what we're doing. And, we only want to do you guys proud and have a good time talking wrestling. So, I mean, if you guys have anything that you want to have us talk about or anything like that, let's go ahead and, send us questions on Instagram or Facebook at One Sweet Wrestling Podcast. You can check us out on both of those. Right now, we don't have a Twitter. I don't think I want to mess with that. Do we?
We have a Twitter. It's just not being utilized as we should, and I should rectify that. I should be more.
I think Alex is going to. You can talk to Alex on Twitter. How about that?
Let's do that.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and put the hashtag on our next picture that we post. So be sure to be on the lookout for One Sweet Wrestling Podcast. Got a lot of cool stuff happening in the future. We look forward to seeing you guys, hopefully at another event that we put on. And, Alex, I don't think there's anything left to say, but
we're out.